Queen consort Camilla Parker Bowles and her family have long been under the intense gaze of the media. But it turns out that her son, Tom Parker Bowles, is no stranger to attention or controversy. His life took a shocking turn in a moment straight out of a courtroom drama. Imagine sitting nervously in a courtroom, still hoping everything will be fine, when the judge reads out a DNA result that instantly turns your world upside down. That's exactly what happened to Tom. Calm and composed just moments before, he collapsed as the results were revealed. His face went pale, his hands trembled, and the truth hit him like a tidal wave, something no one, not even he, had expected. For years, whispers of royal secrets floated quietly behind palace walls. Rumors, hidden truths, and speculation about Queen Camilla's past were well known to those who moved in elite circles. Her marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles ended in 1995, largely shadowed by her ongoing affair with her now husband, King Charles. But now, one of those long-buried secrets has surfaced. The shocking DNA results revealed that Tom's presumed father, Andrew Parker Bowles, might not be his biological parent after all. The man Tom had believed was his father his entire life may, in fact, be someone else entirely. This single revelation has not only shattered Tom's personal reality but threatens to send shockwaves through the royal family itself. The implications of this discovery go far beyond one man's private pain. If the news spreads, it could place Queen Camilla's entire past under a glaring spotlight. Public perception of her could be permanently altered, and difficult questions would inevitably follow. Who is Tom's real father? Why was this hidden for so long? What does this mean for the future of the monarchy? Royal scandals are nothing new, but this revelation could spark a crisis unlike any before, a real-life mystery playing out in the global spotlight. Before she became Queen Camilla, she was simply Camilla Shand, a young woman far removed from the royal image we see today. Her early life was quiet, yet marked by moments that would later entangle her with the British crown. She married Andrew Parker Bowles, a high-ranking and well-connected military officer known for his charm and stature within the upper echelons of society. Together, they seemed the perfect match, elegant, admired, and beloved. Their wedding was covered by media across the UK, painting a picture of a storybook romance. They went on to build a family, including their son Tom, and became regular fixtures at royal events, trusted, respected, and seemingly flawless. But behind the polished facade, there were cracks. Even during her marriage, rumors swirled about Camilla's close relationship with Prince Charles. Whispers passed through drawing rooms and royal banquets alike. Some believed they were merely old friends, while others claimed their affection never truly faded. To the public, these were just whispers. But to those closer to the crown, there were signs, lingering glances, private conversations, subtle moments that hinted at something deeper. Still, in a world where reputation is everything and discretion is enforced with unspoken rules, few dared to speak out. When Camilla gave birth to Tom, no one questioned Andrew Parker Bowles' paternity. He was her husband. It made sense. Tom was raised proudly as a Parker Bowles, attending elite schools, appearing at public events, and upholding the family name. Outwardly, there was no reason to doubt the narrative. But as time passed, quiet observations began to emerge. Some noted subtle differences, features that didn't quite match Andrew's. At first, these were dismissed. Genetics can be unpredictable, after all. But the whispers persisted, growing louder in private circles. Over the years, a quiet rumor began to circulate that Tom might not be Andrew's biological son. Still, the palace maintained its silence. In royal life, scandal is managed carefully, and the tools of protection, tradition, secrecy, and loyalty are formidable. For decades, any doubt about Tom's parentage was buried under layers of discretion and fear. But times have changed. In today's digital age, with relentless media scrutiny and the unyielding certainty of DNA testing, no secret is safe forever. The royal family, once sheltered by centuries-old customs, is now vulnerable to the instant consequences of leaked documents and scientific proof. When the first details of this hidden story surfaced, the silence was finally broken. The carefully shut door burst open, and there was no going back. That courtroom moment, the collapse, the revelation, the undeniable proof, was more than just a personal tragedy for Tom. It may mark the unraveling of a long-protected royal narrative. As the world watches, what comes next could upend everything we thought we knew about Queen Camilla, her son, and the legacy they hoped to preserve. The day began like any other in the courtroom. Tom Parker Bowles entered confidently, dressed in a sharp, tailored suit. His hair was neatly combed, his step steady, and his expression calm and composed. He believed he was there for routine matters, family history and legal paperwork. Nothing out of the ordinary. But what he didn't realize was that this day would unravel the life he thought he understood. As the judge entered and the courtroom settled into silence, the atmosphere became tense. Everyone could feel that something significant was about to be revealed, even if they didn't know what. The judge opened the file and began reading the DNA results aloud. At first, the words came slowly, as if cushioning the blow of what was to come. And then, in a moment that felt like a thunderclap, the truth was laid bare: Tom's biological father was not Andrew Parker Bowles. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Murmurs broke the silence as disbelief spread. Could it be a mistake? Was there some error in the test? But the judge's documents were clear, thoroughly examined by experts and backed by irrefutable scientific evidence. There was no doubt. The man Tom had called his father all his life was not biologically related to him. The revelation struck Tom like a bolt of lightning. At first, he stood motionless, his mind racing to process what he had just heard. Slowly, the color drained from his face. His confident composure shattered. He swayed, gripping the edge of the table in front of him for support, but it wasn't enough. Then, in full view of the courtroom and the cameras that had come to document the day, Tom collapsed. The room erupted into chaos. Cameras flashed in a frenzy, capturing every second of the dramatic collapse. People rushed to his aid, friends, onlookers, and security guards alike. Royal security moved quickly to secure the area and calm the scene. But this wasn't just a public scene, it was a deeply personal heartbreak. A man had just discovered that the foundation of his identity might have been built on a lie. Every childhood memory, every family story, suddenly felt uncertain. As Tom was helped to his feet, a haunting question filled the courtroom and soon echoed around the world: if Andrew Parker Bowles isn't Tom's real father, then who is? That question ignited a storm of speculation. The mystery was no longer a private matter, it had become a national obsession. The secrecy once protected behind palace walls was now thrust into the public domain. For Tom, the truth was more than a DNA result. It called into question everything he believed about identity, trust, and belonging. And with that revelation, there was no going back. The story was no longer a whisper in royal halls, it had become a global headline. Now, with the truth out, the biggest question remains: who is Tom Parker Bowles' real father? It's not just idle curiosity, it's a royal mystery capturing the attention of the media, the public, and royal watchers worldwide. One name continues to surface in hushed conversations: King Charles III. The long-known, often controversial relationship between Charles and Camilla has been a matter of public fascination for decades. Even during their respective marriages, the closeness between them was undeniable and frequently discussed behind closed doors. Could their love story have started earlier than anyone realized, perhaps even before Tom was born? Some royal experts believe the timeline makes sense. In the years leading up to Tom's birth, Charles and Camilla were frequently seen together, and many believed their bond extended far beyond friendship. Old letters, candid photographs, and accounts from mutual friends suggest a deep and enduring romantic connection. The idea that Tom could be the product of this secret relationship has captivated the public imagination and, for many, explains the situation perfectly. Yet not everyone is convinced Charles is the father. Other rumors hint at an entirely different man, someone not royal, not publicly known, but closely connected to Camilla at the time. Some sources describe him as a trusted confidant or perhaps a secret lover whose identity has remained hidden until now. His name isn't in the tabloids, and he's never made headlines, but his role in Camilla's past may now be more important than ever. This alternative theory only deepens the intrigue. Who is this mysterious man? Why has he stayed in the shadows? And could he really be Tom's biological father? With so many theories swirling, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. Meanwhile, the palace has remained completely silent. No official statements have been made regarding the DNA results or Tom's true paternity. But sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Behind those stone walls, one can only imagine the conversations happening now about legacy, loyalty, and how to protect the image of the monarchy as this bombshell continues to unfold. Palace aides have launched an all-out effort to contain the fallout and shield the monarchy's reputation. They know that if every detail of this scandal spills into full public view, the damage could spread far beyond one family member. Yet while the courtiers work behind closed doors, the outside world is already buzzing. Social media timelines, 24-hour news channels, and gossip columns are alive with theories as amateur sleuths sift fragments of information, determined to solve the puzzle for themselves. Modern forensics make secrecy harder than ever. Contemporary DNA testing can confirm, or shatter, blood ties with near-perfect accuracy, so any attempt by the palace to muffle the story may only postpone the inevitable. When the complete truth emerges, the shockwaves won't stop with Tom, they will rock Queen Camilla, King Charles, and the institution they represent. For Camilla, this revelation is far more than a private embarrassment. Her path to public acceptance was steep. Many still blame her for the collapse of Charles's marriage to Princess Diana, a princess beloved across the globe. Over the years, Camilla rebuilt her image: quiet charity work, faultless appearances, unwavering support for Charles, and gradually won respect. Now, that hard-won standing hangs by a thread. Critics are asking whether she concealed a life-altering secret and whether the palace itself helped keep that secret under wraps. The royal family can ill afford another credibility crisis. Recent years have already brought painful disclosures: Prince Harry's tell-all interviews, accusations of racism, and, most recently, Princess Catherine's cancer diagnosis. Each episode chipped away at the monarchy's aura of stability. Public faith is fragile. Lose it, and calls for reform, or even abolition, could grow louder. If the palace mismanages this DNA bombshell, the repercussions could be existential. Behind the headlines, Tom Parker Bowles must grapple with a far more intimate turmoil. One moment he was certain of his lineage, the next he learned it might be built on an illusion. The questions haunting him, who am I? Whom can I trust, are deeply personal, yet he must wrestle with them under the relentless glare trained on every royal drama. The palace now faces a stark choice: confront the story head-on, risking a short-term storm, or maintain silence and hope the tempest passes. Transparency may sting today but rebuild trust tomorrow. Evasion could delay the pain only to see it explode later with even greater force. One thing is clear: the DNA revelation has opened a new, unpredictable chapter for Queen Camilla, her son, and the monarchy itself, proof that even the crown cannot forever keep the past from catching up. In a courtroom filled with flashing cameras and murmuring voices, Tom Parker Bowles heard the results of a DNA test that shook the foundation of his identity. The man he had always believed to be his father, Andrew Parker Bowles, might not be biologically related to him at all. For anyone, such news would be difficult to accept. For Tom, it was devastating. Friends close to him described the experience as emotionally crushing. It wasn't just the shock of the revelation, it was the sorrow, the confusion, and the sudden collapse of the story he had believed his entire life. Tom has reportedly withdrawn from the public eye, choosing solitude to rest and process the emotional storm. His collapse in court wasn't merely a physical response, it symbolized the depth of his internal pain. The revelation didn't just call his parentage into question, it unearthed years of silence, secrets, and betrayal. People close to him say Tom feels deeply wounded, not just by the DNA results, but by the realization that the truth may have been kept from him for years. Why, he wonders, did no one tell him sooner? Why did he have to discover it in such a public and humiliating way? His relationship with his mother, Queen Camilla, is now under tremendous strain. The test has raised agonizing questions: did she know the truth all along? Did she stay silent to protect her image or shield the monarchy from scandal? Could she have acted differently, more openly, more compassionately, to protect her son? These are not questions with easy answers, and their weight is already altering the bond between mother and son. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. This is more than a royal scandal, it's a personal tragedy. For Tom, this is an identity crisis. The very foundation of his life has been shaken. He is left questioning not only his parentage but his place in the world, his past, and his sense of self. Behind the headlines and tabloid speculation is a man struggling to navigate an emotional labyrinth of grief, betrayal, and rediscovery. Those closest to him are trying to offer support, but no one can truly erase the pain of such a seismic loss. Tom's story is a reminder that beneath every royal title, there is a human being with real fears and emotions. While the world speculates and debates, he is left to reconstruct his life piece by piece. He is trying to find solid ground in a reality that suddenly feels unfamiliar and unsettling. It is a painful journey, made harder by the public spotlight. This isn't the first time Camilla has been at the center of royal controversy. Long before she became Queen Consort, she was vilified as the woman who disrupted the marriage between Prince Charles and Princess Diana. When news of Charles's affair with Camilla broke, Diana was cast as the betrayed wife, admired, beloved, and pitied, while Camilla was portrayed as the interloper who shattered a fairy tale. The public's fury was magnified by Diana's unforgettable 1995 interview with journalist Martin Bashir. In it, she spoke candidly about the pain she endured during her marriage. One line in particular stunned the world: "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." That single sentence confirmed what many had suspected, that Charles and Camilla had maintained a relationship even while he was married to Diana. After Charles and Diana's divorce in 1996, and Diana's tragic death just a year later, public sympathy solidified firmly around the late princess. Camilla became the symbol of betrayal. Her every move was scrutinized, and her reputation suffered both in Britain and around the world. Where Diana was seen as graceful, warm, and charitable, Camilla was labeled cold, selfish, and calculating. Though Charles and Camilla eventually married in 2005, for many, the memory of Diana remained too powerful to forget. Camilla's attempts to rehabilitate her image, through charitable work, royal duties, and quiet perseverance, earned her some respect, but never full public acceptance. Diana's shadow looms large. Even now, as Queen Consort, Camilla continues to face comparisons and criticism rooted in a past that still haunts the monarchy. The tragedy of Diana's life and her untimely death elevated her to an almost saintly status in the public imagination. Her devotion to humanitarian work, her vulnerability, and her role as the mother of the future king all solidified her place in history as a beloved figure. Camilla, by contrast, is still viewed by many as the woman who caused Diana's suffering, a perception that lingers no matter how much time passes. The resurgence of scandal through Tom's DNA controversy threatens to unravel whatever stability Camilla has built. Old wounds are reopened, and the narrative of betrayal re-emerges. The public is once again questioning her integrity, her past, and now, her role as a mother. The emotional stakes are higher than ever, not just for Tom and Camilla, but for the future of the monarchy itself. This is no longer just about lineage or scandal, it's about identity, legacy, and the painful cost of secrets long kept in the shadows. Certainly. Here's a polished, paragraph-form rephrasing of the entire passage you provided. Camilla's reputation has long made it nearly impossible for her to fully earn the public's trust and affection. The lingering question remains, can she ever move beyond her past, or will she forever be remembered as the woman who hurt the people's princess? Prince Charles and Camilla's marriage, after years of intense public scrutiny and controversy, finally took place on April 9, 2005, at Windsor Guildhall. This event marked the official union of a relationship that had endured for decades despite numerous challenges, scandals, and widespread disapproval. For some, their marriage was the natural conclusion of a long-standing romance, but for others, it was seen as a betrayal and a deep insult to the memory of Princess Diana. The relationship between Charles and Camilla is among the most contentious in British royal history, frequently compared to previous royal scandals, such as King Edward VIII's abdication for love. By marrying Camilla, Charles demonstrated his unwavering loyalty to the woman he had loved for most of his life, regardless of public opinion. For Camilla, the marriage formalized her role in Charles' life but also brought intensified criticism. Upon their wedding,